Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome back to the Watkins Glen International as we are here for the second of two races in the BodyArmor Dual at the Glen. This is the 19th race of the season in the 2022 Haas IndyCar Series, and we could very well see Brian Rodriguez clinch the championship here today. If he leaves this race with a 53-point lead on the field, he will be your Haas IndyCar Series champion for 2020. But still two races remain, this one here and then the finale at Pocono next weekend. And after yesterday's race, we know anything can happen all the way up to the last corner on the last lap. The driver starting on pole for this race, Caleb Rose, who had the fastest lap in yesterday's first event, was coming to the checkered flag off at turn 11, overshot the corner, hit the outside wall, and Jesse Turner came cruising by. And Turner got that position on strategy, and that's going to be another big thing that we'll see in today's race. Pit strategy will come into play. I mean, that pit window was very wide yesterday, and those who came in a little bit earlier gained a lot more of an advantage than those who came in later. But also, on the flip note, you notice Justin Zaidel ended up finishing third in yesterday's race. He came flying from about 4 seconds behind and almost won the race in 2.5 laps. So we don't know what to expect here today, even after what we saw yesterday, but we had a clean race yesterday. Maybe we won't have a clean race today. A lot can happen between now and the finish of this one. In the point standings, though, Brian Rodriguez, who starts third for this race here today, has a 21-point lead on Trey Smith, who starts 10th. And the thing is, that outside lane gets a much better start than the inside lane does, so Trey Smith is probably going to close in on Rodriguez pretty quickly in this race and could very well surpass him on the racetrack. And if that's the case, Trey Smith will still have an advantage, still have an opportunity to have the championship. Zachary Fitzwater is going to need a miracle to happen. He's 89 points behind, and then Cole Raymond, Landon Smith Jr., the only other two drivers within any reasonable mathematical championship contention, 97 and 100 points behind, respectively. Everybody else is mathematically eliminated from championship competition, including Jesse Turner, who won the race yesterday in that number 38 machine. He's now 8th in points all of a sudden, 123 behind, but still not enough time for him to close in and win the championship. But like I mentioned earlier on, the starting lineup determined by the fast lap in yesterday's duel number 1 at the Glen. Caleb Rose had the fastest time in yesterday's race and almost grabbed the race victory. Now, obviously, we know what happened to him there on the final lap. And the very strange thing about yesterday, it did not happen. I don't believe it happened at all the entire race until the race leader coming to the checkered flag. The entire race, we were clean off that exit of turn 11, and right at the end there, Caleb Rose smashed the outside wall. Noah Clifton will be starting alongside him there. You got Brian Rodriguez, our points leader here, starting in third. A great opportunity for him to possibly get something to go his way. And Justin Zaidel on the outside of him in the fourth starting position. Then you have the 0-0 of Nathan Faden to the inside of Eric Monaco in row number 3. Of course, Nathan Faden, 7th in points, could have been in championship contention, still mathematically at least, if what happened to him at Portland did not happen. There's your last winner, Jesse Turner, starting 8th to the outside of Zach Winkle, and then Landon Smith Jr. and his brother Trey Smith in row number 5. Watch out for Trey Smith. He's got a decent starting position in this race and could easily find himself ahead of Brian Rodriguez at some point in today's event. Other drivers to watch out for kind of in that championship battle. You got Zachary Fitzwater there. It's going to take a miracle for him to have something to go his way. Same with Cole Raymond, and then Landon Smith Jr. starting in 9th. Could still stretch something out if Rodriguez wrecks out and he wins, but even that is a bit of a stretch. This championship is more than likely going to be either Brian Rodriguez or Trey Smith, and Rodriguez could clinch it here today if he leaves this race with a 53-point lead. Of course, there are no double points races anymore in the Haas IndyCar Series, and even though the finale race is a bit longer than a lot of the other races we've had this season, it is still a single points event. So was the Indianapolis 250, which Trey Smith won. Just think, the Indy 250 was double points, we'd be in a much different situation right now, but since every race is single points, it has benefited Brian Rodriguez, and his one win that he got at Pikes Peak earlier this season may very well propel him to a championship here in the Haas IndyCar Series. But Caleb Rose and Noah Clifton would love to go to victory lane today. They do not care about Brian Rodriguez, and neither do 20 other drivers in this field. All they care about is going to victory lane, and they're going to go all out for it here at Watkins Glen in the duel at the Glen, race number 2 for 2022. pace car is down, and we are underway at the world's greatest road course. Well, it wasn't as bad of a start for the pole sitter in this one. Caleb Rose files in the third. Landon Smith Jr. yesterday from the pole position didn't go anywhere, but now you got yesterday's race winner to the outside of Brian Rodriguez. There, our points leader through the carousel. Caleb Rose going to try on Justin Zaidel for second. It's a tough place to get around cleanly, and we're going to see a few mistakes, I believe, in today's event, even though we didn't see much yesterday. I feel like these guys, they're not going to be waiting around for a race victory. It's the last road course of the season. Of course, the finale at Pocono and Oval. Caleb Rose unable to get that inside lane. They'll work off the exit of turn number 7. And Justin Zaidel, once again, deja vu all over again for Mobile One Groton Autosport. Yesterday, they ran most of the race 1-2 before the cycle of pit stops. Well, now Noah Clifton leads the field ahead of Justin Zaidel. Rodriguez solidifying himself in 6th. And then Trey Smith trying to find his way around Nathan Faden here. We got to be careful through this corner, and Trey Smith a little wide right there, but not hitting the outside wall like Caleb Rose did. A bit edgy back in there. Brock Nelson, Nicholas Amadio, I think, got into it there. Turner on the inside of Rodriguez, but that first turn is a terrible place to be on the inside lane. You're going to see that right there. Zach Winkle going to gain the advantage there on the number 38, or at least try to do so. Turner's almost in the grass going through the S's. You're trying to battle with Winkle for this 7th position. I believe he's actually going for the 6th position, and Rodriguez is in 5th. 4 drivers ahead of Rodriguez there with Monaco, Caleb Rose, Justin Zaidel, and our race leader Noah Clifton in the number 23. But Brian Rodriguez, this is exactly where he wants to be. 30 points where he currently runs right now, so we'll have to see if he can hold on to that. Where Trey Smith currently runs, goes 2 points for each position there in the bottom half of the top 10. 28, 26, 24, 22, so that's an 8-point gap, and that'd be a 29-point lead heading into the finale, so it would not be a clinch for Rodriguez yet. Trey Smith could still easily win the championship, but every point you can get in this strict points championship is going to go a long way, especially for Rodriguez. And right now with where he's running, he's in a good position to have a good shot at winning it next week at Pocono. Caleb Rose has a shot here on Justin Zaidel. Zaidel did not get off the exit at turn 11 too well, but Caleb Rose did. I think he learned something from yesterday, but that inside lane's not going to work to Caleb Rose's advantage. And Eric Monaco might have a shot here on the 55 for the 3rd position. Winkle has gotten around Jesse Turner. And Nathan Faden, Landon Smith Jr. there right behind his brother Trey Smith in the 10th and 9th positions, respectively. Everybody's still out here on the racetrack. For Zachary Fitzwater deep in the field there in the number 66 machine. I think it's safe to say his championship hopes are done for the season, unless something drastic happens here today. And a battle right here between Ethan Lewis and Elijah Gordon through the carousel. That's going to deep in the field, though, down in, I believe, is the 16th position, maybe the 17th position. I think Sam Adio got around the 42 there of Elijah Gordon, and now Ethan Lewis trying to do so on the 42. Nearly a 2-second lead right now for Noah Clifton, and you can tell he is the class of the field right now. This is the largest lead we have seen all weekend here at Watkins Glen. And that's going to give Clifton some options once the cycle of pit stops begin. His teammate, Justin Zaidel, is not up to speed like he is, and I think it's holding a lot of these guys up behind him. You see Caleb Rose, Eric Monaco, Brian Rodriguez, Turner trying to get on Winkle here. Have to see if he can get him cleared before the entrance of turn number 1. Trey Smith and Landon Smith Jr. battling back in there. Turner's going to try on Winkle, but he's not going to be able to get it to work there on the entrance of turn number 1. That inside lane simply does not have any grip, and it's a tough place to make a pass, no doubt about it. Caleb Rose is trying all he can to find his way around Justin Zaidel, because that 23 is getting smaller and smaller in front of the arrow screen for these guys, and Clifton is definitely going to be hard to beat in this one, the way things are currently going. Once these tires start to wear out a little bit, it gets a little bit harder to make moves on the racetrack. I think Landon Smith Jr. is going to lose a spot here to Jay Knapp. Jay Knapp inside the top 10 now. Great run for Jay Knapp, all things considered. Coming into this race last in points. Even Caleb Rose, I mean, you know, he almost won yesterday. He's 25th in points, and he's finally going to get around the 5 of Justin Seidel for the second position. Clearly much faster than that 5 machine, and he was very fast yesterday. Of course, played the strategy very well, had a great pit stop, and arguably should have won the race, but made one mistake on the final corner, and that cost him the race victory. He was one of those drivers who did, in fact, I think, come down a lap later than Jesse Turner did, but he also might have gone with just 2 tires instead of a 4-tire stop like Turner, and that might have been a disadvantage for the 55. If he had those 4 tires, he probably would have had the grip to get through that corner just fine, and unfortunately for him, it did not happen. Justin Seidel also, he was one of those guys who clearly took 4 tires at the end of that race, and he soared his way up almost a second, and arguably could have won the race if things played out a little bit differently. If he was on the inside of Turner heading into 11 there, he would have won the race. But because he was the one directly behind Rose off the exit of the corner there, he could not get out of the way and pass him, and Turner had the clear racetrack ahead of him to get that race victory. Zach Winkle is on the gearbox of Brian Rodriguez. That'd be a position right there. And Trey Smith's going to take anything that he can get in this race. He wants to have a shot at this championship heading in the Pocono in the Haas World Championship 200K. Let's have to see what he can pull off. Zach Winkle's right here. He's going to have a shot through turn 7 and to the inside for the 5th position, excuse me. Zach Winkle's going to take it away there from the 13. Now you got Eric Monaco on Justin Seidel, and he's going to make that one look easy. Or is he? I think Seidel's going to try to keep it side by side, and Brian Rodriguez is also going to try to keep it side by side with Winkle, but that outside lane gets that advantage off the exit of turn number 9, excuse me. Monaco will take it away there from Justin Seidel, and then Zach Winkle will get around Rodriguez, and Rodriguez wide as Turner is going to take advantage of that as well. Oh boy. That's 2 positions Rodriguez lost right there on that lap. And as of right now, he's only 2 positions ahead of Trey Smith. That's a 4-point gain for Rodriguez, so it would be 25-point lead heading in the Pocono. Landon Smith Jr. he's 100 points behind. He's going to need to win this race for Rodriguez to wreck out if he's going to have any mathematical chance. But Landon Smith Jr. has not gone to victory lane this season. It's been a bit of a tough season for him, and just not quite getting it done. But his teammate Jesse Turner won yesterday. And Turner is now up to the 6th position. And if I were Turner, you got nothing to lose at this point. You're not battling for a championship. Do the same thing you did yesterday. It got you the race win. Why not try to go for 2 here at Watkins Glen? I think Rodriguez has fallen off a little bit. He doesn't quite have the long run speed compared to some of these other guys. Here's Nathan Faden moving to the inside of Rodriguez. That is for the 7th position. And now Trey Smith is here in the 41. He's the next guy in line to get around Rodriguez, assuming Faden can surpass this 13. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting because Rodriguez is going to be in an odd position here, entering turn number 10, and Trey Smith is going to get a much better entry, so he's going to zoom right up behind the 13. Actually going to try to move to the inside. Rodriguez wide again. However, I don't think Trey Smith is going to make the pass right here. But right now, a 23-point lead for Rodriguez in this championship fight. Trey Smith trying to hang on here and have an opportunity at winning a championship next weekend at the Pocono Raceway. Meanwhile, up front, it's a 3-second lead for Noah Clifton. By far the largest lead we have seen all weekend long here at Watkins Glen. Then it's Caleb Rose, Eric Monaco, Justin Seidel, and Zach Winkle, the top 5. But Clifton, like I said, he has options once the cycle begins because he has that buffer between him and second place. So definitely a good opportunity for him to maybe pull a little strategy and just completely seal the deal here at Watkins Glen. We'll focus back on Trey Smith here, who is right there on the gearbox of Brian Rodriguez. Rodriguez definitely off the pace a little bit compared to some of these other guys. Not one of the faster cars on the racetrack. Trey Smith has an advantage right here. He's right there. He's going to try to move to the inside in turn 8. And that'll be a 2-point swing going the other direction. It would be a 19-point lead for Trey Smith if he can make the pass here on Rodriguez. Will he be able to do it? He's got that outside lane off the exit of turn 9, and I think he's got it. And now how many more positions will Rodriguez lose? Here's Jay Knapp, who's right there on the 13. And Landon Smith Jr. is going to probably help his brother out trying to surpass that 13 for another position. But Trey Smith has surpassed Rodriguez on the racetrack. That is huge in this championship fight. Caleb Rose just took away half a second from Noah Clifton's lead right there. Pretty solid lap right there for Caleb Rose, who definitely wants some redemption from what happened to him yesterday. Now Trey Smith's going to be going. You know, Trey Smith is in a position where he could pull strategy to win this race. I would come down, maybe not this time, but on lap number 9. I think that's the money stop. You want to come down to lap 9. That's where Turner came down yesterday. It was lap number 9 into lap 10. And that gave Turner the race victory, and he had a huge advantage from that. Zach Winkle's pretty fast here as well on the gearbox of Eric Monaco. Justin Zaidel there in third. But they have all been schooled today by Noah Clifton. Clifton took the race lead and was out of here in that 23 machine. But unlike yesterday, the pole sitter is doing much better in this race. Landon Smith Jr. did not have a good race yesterday from the pole, but Caleb Rose has definitely shown a lot of strength there. Had an issue, didn't have an issue, but obviously struggled getting through the first turn on the first lap there, and that's going to be a struggle if you start on the pole here. We'll have to see if anyone comes down. Oh, yes. Caleb Rose is going to come down and definitely try to play that strategy. Trey Smith will not, though. And Caleb Rose actually, Ethan Lewis, nope, he's standing out too. Angel Oliveira may have already come down the pit lane. He is a bit ways behind there in the 25, but I don't know if he's going to gain any advantage. But Caleb Rose, he just wants to solidify this race right here and now. But that may have been a fuel-only stop. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see how he ends up playing out with the rest of the field here. Anyways, now the lead is even bigger for Noah Clifton ahead of his teammate Justin Zaidel, who is still holding these guys up. Actually, as a matter of fact, he got back around Monaco. And now you got Winkle, and you got Jesse Turner right behind him, and you got Jay Knapp finally with an opportunity to make a pass on Rodriguez. And now 4 points separate Trey Smith and Brian Rodriguez on the racetrack, which means it's a 17-point lead for Rodriguez heading into the finale. Trey Smith is not going to make this one easy for him. Trey Smith's won a championship on the channel before, albeit in a stock car. That Turkey Hill Series championship is not an easy one to win. Noah Clifton going to stay out another lap right here. We'll see what these 4 drivers do. You got Justin Zaidel on the 5, Monaco, Winkle, and Turner. They all stay out. And Trey Smith, I thought he was coming in. I could have sworn he was coming in there. Took a very low line into the corner. Actually lost a little bit of momentum there. I definitely would have come down if I were Trey Smith, because like I said, we saw what happened with Jesse Turner yesterday. I think Caleb Rose is going to have something go his way here. We'll just have to see, but that 55 might be at a bit of an advantage here for this race victory, possibly. I just don't know if he took tires or not, because I never saw the jack go up there, so possibly could have gone fuel only. And it's looking like a fuel only stop for a lot of these guys here. They're not going and taking tires, and they're trying to get that track position. They know it's a little difficult to pass with it being a road course, but still, you can definitely get advantages on drivers in this field, and you don't want to be caught out there with worn tires. That's not going to work out too well for you. Well, Zach Winkle is trying to get around Monaco. I think he's finally going to have a shot here, possibly. And I would imagine this next time by, we're going to see a lot of our race leaders come down, including Noah Clifton, who has a 4.25 second lead on the field. Yeah, he's going to stay out. Still trying to pace this field and have an advantage at this championship, and in this race. And most everyone's still staying out right here. We've had a couple guys come down the pit lane and get their fuel done. Ethan Lewis, he did not come down. Caleb Rose was the only one who came down that last time. I thought he came down that first lap, but he did not. Nearly a 5-second lead now for Noah Clifton. This is completely different than what we saw yesterday. I think Clifton's going to try to just stretch it as far as he can because he does have that buffer on the field. And then hopes he beats out Caleb Rose. That's the big question right there. But we could see a battle between those two guys for the race victory. I don't know if any of these guys are going to have an opportunity. They're already so far behind here. Now, I will say, if you go ahead and you take some tires, you're going to be going much faster than everybody else. You know, especially if those other guys, did not come down and take tires. You're going to be flying through the field if that's the case. Landon Smith Jr. here behind Brian Rodriguez. That is currently for 10th, but you got to think Caleb Rose is ahead of these guys and definitely is going to move up through the field once the cycle is complete for the whole field here. Next time by, it's only 4 laps to go here at Watkins Glen, and everybody still has to come down at least once. And here comes Clifton for his pit stop. There's Justin Zaidel, Monaco, Winkle, Turner, Faden. Oh boy, Trey Smith is going to try something here. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. He might be throwing it away right here. Because he's not going to even lead a lap. Actually, he may get a lap lead. That might be what he's trying to do, and get that bonus point for a lap lead. But I don't know if it's going to play out well for him in surpassing Brian Rodriguez here. See if anyone takes tires. Zaidel takes tires. That's what he did yesterday, and he gained a massive advantage from that. But a lot of these other guys are going fuel only, including... Rodriguez isn't taking any tires. I think I got 4 tires there on Nathan Faden. It's all over the board right there, but watch out for Justin Zaidel here. But also watch out for Caleb Rose, because he's out there. He's got the full head of steam, and look at the gap now. Now, he didn't go tires either. I think neither of these guys went with tires, but this guy did. But he's got a whole backstretch to get to the race leader if he's going to have a shot at the race win, and I don't think that's going to be enough time for him to get to the front of the race. Well, Trey Smith currently leads the field in the 41. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting one right here for Trey Smith. I don't know. I mean, Rodriguez didn't take tires and actually had a really poor pit stop. He fell way back right there. He's now behind Brock Nelson in the middle of the field. You know, if things go Trey Smith's way, Trey Smith could enter the finale the points leader. Here he comes down the pit lane with his brother, Landon Smith Jr., and Chris Reynolds. Nicholas Sambanillo down, and Logan Williams, Zachary Fitzwater, Brandon Nelson, and Thomas Troxel. And here is Noah Clifton already coming off the exit of turn 11. And Trey Smith has yet to get to his pit stall, but I would imagine it's going to be fuel only for these guys, and they're going to gas and go. And here, Noah Clifton get by. Trey Smith might actually gain quite a bit here. If he can beat this group right here out, then he's going to be looking pretty good. He actually tapped the wall there on the exit of the pit lane. I think he's got it. He's going to gain from that move right there. And on top of that, he's going to get a bonus point for leading a lap as well. So we'll wait until the next lap and see how it all cycles through. And then we'll see where Rodriguez ends up falling in out of all that. But you see Rodriguez at the back of this line right here. So there's a lot of opportunity for Rodriguez to actually gain some more positions here. But that last time around, he was 21st. And there's a lot going on behind him right there with Chris Reynolds merging back on with Richard Kingart there and Ethan Lewis, Cole Raymond in the middle of all that. But Trey Smith kind of solidified in his position. Now I'm curious to see... how well does Justin Zaidel fare here? He's actually fallen off a little bit from some of these guys. I don't think he's really gaining much ground. Trey Smith definitely gained some ground there. I think he is currently in the 6th position. I think. And he got a lap lead. So we'll just have to see how it all goes down for him. And we also got a battle for the win as well. I don't think this thing is far from over. Actually, I think this thing is far from over. That's what I meant to say. 2 laps to go here in race number 2 in the duel at the Glen. 1.5 second lead there for Noah Clifton in the number 23. And we got Caleb Rose there in second, trying to chase him down. Eric Monaco, Zach Winkle, Jesse Turner. Trey Smith is 6th. That is 28 points towards the championship. He came in 21 points behind. Brian Rodriguez is in the 10-point position right now. They're in 17th, so that is 18 points. That's a 3-point lead for Brian Rodriguez. And effectively means that whoever finishes higher in the race, not exactly, but whoever finishes higher in the race gets the win, gets the championship next week. That's what it's setting up to be right now. The 55 of Caleb Rose really isn't gaining much on Noah Clifton here, but we saw what happened yesterday, and Caleb Rose is hoping that happens to Noah Clifton here today. And remember, none of these guys really took tires on their pit stops. They did not feel the need for them here. Now, Zidell did get around Jay Knapp there, but we'll have to see what advantages he can get there. Noah Clifton and Caleb Rose 1 1/4 seconds across the line at the white flag here at Watkins Glen. Trey Smith holding on the 6th here, but he may lose a position to Zidell. Zidell is actually going to make a pass in turn 1. See, those tires are starting to come in now for that 5. I thought he was going to get it there. He still got a nose to the inside of the 34, but can't quite hold on to it. He actually might lose another position to Jay Knapp, so that's good news for Trey Smith. Rodriguez in the 13 now up to 16th. That's another point. That means it's only a 4-point lead. Actually, I take that back. I wasn't even counting in the point that Trey Smith got for leading a lap, so it's actually now a 3-point lead. Because it was a 4-point lead. That was a 2-point lead, now it's a 3-point lead. Heading into the finale there for Brian Rodriguez, the way they currently run. Turner trying to get a position here on Zach Winkle. But Noah Clifton definitely did what he was supposed to do here today. But it's not over yet. Like I said, we saw what happened yesterday. I doubt it's going to happen in this one. Noah Clifton pretty much flag to flag led all but one lap, and Trey Smith was the other guy who grabbed that lap lead. And he's cleanly off of turn number 11. Noah Clifton wins Dual at the Glen, race number 2. And then Turner in the outside wall at the end. And Trey Smith in the outside wall at the end. And he's going to lose a point. He's actually going to lose 2 points there. And that could be very, very critical next weekend. 7th place for Trey Smith. Brian Rodriguez is going to finish in 17th. So that's 26 points, 27 because he led a lap for Trey Smith, and then 10 for Rodriguez. So 17-point gain for Trey Smith, 4-point lead for Brian Rodriguez heading into the finale race at Pocono. There's your winner. Noah Clifton gets it done in the number 23 for Mobil 1 Gradden Autosports. First win for Stuart Gradden as an owner this season. And there's only, actually, American Motorsports grabbed their first win with Trey Wright this weekend as well. So I'm thinking the only team that is yet to win a race this season. I think there is one more that hasn't done it. Well, no, Perez Racing won last week. Every team might have just gotten the race victory. I think every team... Collins Racing, Scott Upton, Brandon Nelson, those are the 2 guys. I knew there was one team left that still hadn't won one. Well, a little bit of a calmer finish there than what we saw yesterday, but Noah Clifton gets it done here in the second race in the Dual at the Glen. And then you also have Trey Smith there finishing 7th and losing 2 points there. That would have been a 2-point gap heading in the Pocono. Now it's a 4-point gap, and I know it may not seem like much, but that could mean the championship next week at Pocono. The Haas World Championship 200K, 50 laps run the Tricky Triangle, so half the length of the Indianapolis 250, but still going to be a great race there in Pennsylvania. Should have a good one to close out the season finally. It's been a long season for these guys. We started in February, and we're still going here in late September. But Noah Clifton with the race victory, and now, the focus is on Trey Smith, Brian Rodriguez. Everyone else is mathematically eliminated from the championship at this point. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see which one of those two gets it. But it's going to be pretty straightforward and simple, mainly if either of those two drivers win, they win the championship. And if either of those drivers finish second and the other driver does not win, they win, so they'll win the championship. So there's going to be a lot at stake, you know, if these guys are running up front in next week's race at Pocono. But it should be fun, and it's good that we're going to actually have a battle there in that final race between Rodriguez and Trey Smith. One of those two drivers will get the championship here in the Haas IndyCar Series 2022. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you'll have a great rest of your Sunday. And we'll see you guys next Sunday for the Haas World Championship 200K right here on AG the channel. Congratulations to Noah Clifton for winning here at Watkins Glen. Here are the point standings after 19 races, 1 race left to go. And I will see you guys later.